Two generations, one mic.
My name is Mark. This is Andie, and we're a couple who've been together for 12 years, married for 10. And this is our new podcast. If you haven't already, please do us a favor, like, subscribe, comment, interact with us. It helps with the algorithms. And we have a brand new episode that drops every Tuesday at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. So look forward to that. We'll keep these episodes going. And if you'd like to keep our journey with us, then like, subscribe, and follow.
So this episode is called How Can I Miss You If You Never Go Away?
Yeah, the reason we come up with that is that people always say that you guys are always together. We see you social media, you're always on the pictures together. We work together since we own our own business, and we don't have offices that we waste money on. We just work wherever we are. We have places around the world. We live in U.S., also in Madrid, Spain. We go back and forth. And so wherever we are, we're working, and we're always together.
24/7. Except, sometimes when you go to the gym by yourself, but we work out together, we eat together, we usually do everything together. And for some people, that can be a little bit daunting.
Yeah, because most couples, even if they're married, whatever, for a long time, one of them has a job or both of them have jobs, and they go off and they do their thing, interact with other people all day long, and then they come back and see their spouse or their significant other. And that's the time gap that they have there. And then they miss the person, they come back. But if you're with your person all the time.
Yeah, that's why when COVID happened, we didn't have any issues.
No.
A lot of people got divorced because they couldn't stand be with 24/7 with the other person. But for us, it was just like any other normal part of our life, right?
Yeah,
together,
we
stuck together. We have this thing we are always together. And it might be a little bit codependency we have on each other, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and I have friends that actually tell me, they say all the time, they're like, Dad, don't you like to get your space, like your private time, your space? And I said, well, there are some times where she has to travel separately from me or whatever for meetings or whatever, and she may be gone, or she has to run back to Madrid or something if we're in the U.S. And I start looking forward to that. I'm going, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be so good. She's not going to tell me what to do. She's going to tell me what to eat. She's just, it's going to be good. And then I drop her off at the airport, and sometimes I don't even stop. I don't even slow down. I just kind of open the door.
Yeah, go, bitch. Off you go.
And she's like, what, are you in a hurry to get rid of me? No, everything's fine. So, but she'll go, and I'm thinking, oh, hallelujah. And I'll go home, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm caught up on all my work stuff. I'm just going to go in the house. I'm going to, I got the puppies and everything, but I'm going to take care of them. But then I'm going to sit on the couch. I've got my bottle of Bacardi. I'm going to make myself a big drink of Bacardi and Coke Zero, and I'm going to get Taco Bell. Since I don't ever eat fast food hardly, right. I'm going to get Taco Bell.
But there's a reason for that. You get sick every single time.
I don't care. It's worth it.
He swears he can eat Taco Bell. You get sick every single time.
But I'm going to get me some Taco Bell, and I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to turn on my Call of Duty games or one of my Red Dead Redemption or one of my games I love to play, Elite Sniper. I'm going to play something and no one's going to be bothering me, and I'm going to eat my Taco Bell. I'm going to drink my drink, and I'm just going to be there by myself, and it's going to be awesome. And I forget sometimes that we have a Furbo camera, so she can know where she's at. She can just log in and look at me, and all of a sudden I'll be playing, and I'll hear, hey, fucko, what are you doing? What are you eating?
I know, and you think all that is great, right? I don't do that anymore.
I think this is going to be fantastic, and I love it, and it is great for about 3 hours, and then I realize, okay, now I got to go to bed, and she's not in bed, and the puppies are like, well, where's mommy? And she's not here, and then we have to get in bed, and then I realize, okay, she's not in bed, or then I wake up in the morning and she's not there, or I wake up in the middle of the night and go to touch her and she's not there. So that's when it gets really like, I get sad about it. Okay, that little fantasy I had about the Taco Bell and the video games was great for a few hours, but then I get back to reality, and it's like, okay, we are codependent of each other on each other.
And not that I don't let you have your Taco Bell. You can eat whatever you want, but I always tell you, make good choices, right? Eat better, eat healthier. Because again, you always have, since your hiatal hernia surgery,
right,
you can't handle a lot of foods.
Right.
And I always tell him, it's going to make you sick. Oh, leave me alone. You just want to control what I eat. No, you're going to get sick. Yeah, he gets sick. He's throwing up. He has diarrhea. Like, it's just a bunch of like problems
That's
that you
all
get.
part of the Taco Bell experience.
Oh, that's
Just
why I
letting
don't
you
eat
know
tacos.
that.
Well, maybe I need
They
to
don't
eat
call
more.
it running from the border for nothing. So that's the experience that you're getting there.
So you're saying I'm a Taco Bell away to be on my perfect weight?
Yeah, that's
One
it.
diarrhea away.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, I don't tell you not to eat that because I want to control you. I tell you that because I care about you.
Right.
And about the Bacardi, I mean, you can drink a lot of it, and sometimes it's
Like
not
water.
like water. He doesn't get hangovers.
I don't get super drunk either.
I know his body can process it, but again, it's not good for you, babe. And
Well,
I
I know that.
worry about you.
I know that. And even like I said before, but you secretly hope that my blood work comes back and, oh, please let this be the time that his liver enzymes are high so he'll listen to me and get off the Bacardi. But then it comes back and she says, how is this asshole just having perfect liver?
I know. I have like 2 glasses of wine and then I get super horrible hangovers and then my liver enzymes are through the roof and I have high cholesterol and how are you fine?
I don't know. You think I pay off the lab people to make sure the numbers stay correct?
Maybe you do now that you're saying that. Maybe you do. Maybe I get some results and you get some other results.
Right.
But again, I don't try to control you. I'm just trying to make you live longer.
Yes.
Because I love you and again, maybe we are codependent on each other. And there was a point where every time we were not together, we were fighting. Like, I didn't like that feeling of you not being with me. I think it has gotten better over the time. But again, because you were eating the wrong foods, you were drinking all your Bacardi, and then you were not working out. And I was just like, why can't you just behave when I'm not there? But it has gotten better. I don't watch the Forba camera a lot anymore when I'm gone. Actually, I can track his phone. So I can track
that's
his
not
phone.
too stalkerish.
I can track his phone, know where he's at, and I don't do that anymore. I
Yeah.
used to, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I can remember you would send me a text. Why are you at so and so? Why are you at so and so? I'm like, how do you know I'm at so and so?
I know, but I don't do that anymore. I am better than that now. I trust you're gonna do good choices, and if you don't, your body will tell you. And now you're like, oh, I call you if I'm in Spain. I call you and like, oh, I'm like, what's wrong? Nothing. I'm like, your tummy's, you have a tummy ache. No, I'm fine. You just had Taco Bell. Maybe. Or you just ate the biggest you loved your Tex-Mex food.
Yeah.
But your body can't process it.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not
I just
anymore.
can't. I used to. Yeah, I grew up in Houston and Texas in general, so I was a huge Tex-Mex fan for so long. But I can't. My body just can't process anymore. So I do have to have my fix. So we'll go to a restaurant or something, but I literally get the smallest kind of sampler plate I can get. So I taste this, taste that, taste that. But otherwise, and I still feel a little nauseated when I finish. But it definitely, my body can't. There's so much like bad fats and carbohydrates in that it makes me nauseated. I can't eat it.
Exactly. So that's why I know exactly when you're eating when you're not supposed to be eating, and your body tells you that.
Yeah.
But you also have a little. Every time I go away, he gets sick. Every time I go away, he just falls sick, and I don't know why. Besides the stomach problems, there was this time that I don't remember where I went, and you were in LA.
Yeah.
And
I think you were back in Spain. You went back to Spain.
No, in LA, no, because we moved from LA to Spain. So
I don't know where you were.
I don't know where I was, but I was. Oh, I think I went to Mexico City with my mom.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, and Tiffany.
Yeah.
I took Tiffany and my mom to Mexico City, and I remember you were like telling me how sick you were. I was telling them this morning he was fine. And Tiffany said, maybe he's having like Andie withdrawal. And maybe it was a thing because I even remember you recorded this video in case you didn't make it through the night.
Yeah, I mean, I may have been a little dramatic in that
You only
point.
had a fever. Like you're like, I have the chills. I can't stop shaking. And I saw the video later and you're like, baby, this is it. I love you. Take care of the puppies.
It was a little, I had a little drama episode.
I know. It was only because I was away. And I
Yeah.
love you for that.
Yeah, when you're away. But you also do some stuff that's like, I think we remember. I remember you got mad that you were at some. I think you were with Tiffany somewhere, and on our corporate, like our credit cards and stuff.
Oh my God.
When we use like one of our cards, American Express, it pops up on the other person's our phone, like so and so spent this much money at a restaurant, and I had gone to this Italian. We were living in Manhattan, and there was this Italian restaurant that we liked, and I would go sit sometime at the bar and get the thing, but I didn't think it through, and the guy's like, "Oh," he says, "What are you going to get tonight?" I said, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe I get this," and it was like a steak or something.
Yes. So I went to see Tiffany down in Corpus Christi, and I remember we were having dinner. It's Tiffany, her boyfriend, husband, aka Justin, and Justin's friend. That this is the first time I meet this guy. His name was Drew, is Drew, and we're here having dinner at the table. And suddenly, and I keep telling him, what are you going to do tonight? Please make good choices. Don't go out. Don't go out, spend a lot of money. Don't go out, drink too much. You're by yourself. Take care of the puppies. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm fine. And suddenly, we are having dinner. I put my phone down and I see a charge on American Express for like $400. In my head, I thought, oh my God, he is with somebody. Who are you with? Who are you with? Who are you buying dinner for? It's impossible that this man is going to spend $400 on himself. That's what I thought.
Right. Yeah.
So I
think you used the term, "Who's that bitch?"
I know.
Who's that bitch?
Who's that bitch you're with? Who are you buying dinner for? Are you drunk and you decided to buy dinner for somebody? And I literally remember we were at dinner and I was like, this motherfucker. I was like, Tiffany's like, what? I'm like, I'm going to kill your dad. And this guy, Drew, again, he doesn't know the dynamic. He doesn't know who I am. Why am I there? And he doesn't know what's happening. I'm threatening to kill Tiffany's dad. And she's like, what did he do? I'm like, I don't know. He's probably with somebody buying them dinner. And she's like, oh, call him. I'm like, no, I'm going to let him call me. And I'm going to be making sure he knows I am mad. And he calls me. And now tell us the story. Why were you spending $400 on a dinner by yourself?
Because I went to the bar and I was sitting at the bar and they know it's there and everything. And the guy usually was like, make suggestions and things. And he was like, oh, you should try this so-and-so, the Wagyu. It was like a Wagyu steak or something like that. And dummy me didn't say, oh, how much is that? I just thought, okay, that sounds good. Give me that. And it was this giant, like, Wagyu steak or something. And it was unbelievably expensive. And I was like, when I got the bill, I was like, oh my God. And I was like, what am I going to say? Okay. I just felt I was more embarrassed than anything else. Like, how did I do that to myself that I bought that expensive? Because you know me, I don't even eat that much stuff. I was like, usually we only really eat high-end steakhouses and kind of things like that. But I'm still, when we go, I get like a 6-ounce filet, maybe the 8-ounce we're sharing or something like that.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I get the 6-ounce filet. It's $40, $50.
Because I know how much you eat.
And then some side dishes. I don't eat that much food. So it's like, I usually just get that, and I can barely even finish that. I take something home to puppies usually, as long as it's just good prime steak.
Exactly.
I generally don't eat, that expensive of a meal.
Exactly. That's what I thought you were with somebody.
I was more embarrassed that I did that to myself, and like, how did I let myself do that? That was stupid. Oh my God, I hope she doesn't find out about this. I'll never hear the end of this. And I didn't have to. You already knew about it because you got the notice from American Express.
Exactly. And then you called me. It's like, hey. I was like, hey. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know. What are you doing? You're like, I just had dinner. Yeah? Of course you did. Why are you spending so much money? Who were you with? You're like, what are you talking about? And then you were really embarrassed about that. And you told me the story.
Yeah.
Or so he says.
Yeah, that was absolutely it.
So he says.
Yeah, so here I am in New
guess
York,
we'll never
walking
know.
back in the rain, no umbrella, walking back in the streets in the rain,
Miserable
just
and
regretting my life choices. It was appropriate that I'm walking in the dark, in the rain, and miserable with my life choices that I just made, and a bag of $200 steak in my hand. Puppies, you're gonna eat good tonight.
Oh, I know. And anyway, but I mean,
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, for now it's funny, but I was really, really mad at you that time.
Yes. Well.
Or the time that this guy, I swear, every time I leave, this guy's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go have dinner with a friend." Like I don't know, you went have dinner with somebody, and again, like I'm somewhere, and then I see $600 dinner. I'm like, "What? Oh, we went to Nobu." I'm like, and why do I have to leave town and then you just go to these fancy places and just spend
I
all
take
this
you to
money?
Nobu all the time. We
Yes,
would go to
but
Nobu all the time
we don't
in New
spend
York.
that much money.
Oh,
Not
we
even-
just we in New York we did. In New York, every time we went to Nobu, it was
no,
expensive.
it wasn't that much.
Yeah, it's $500-$600 for dinner every time in Nobu. You didn't see the check, so you have no idea what it cost. But at Nobu in New York, it's $500-$600 for dinner.
I know, but man, I don't know why every time I leave, you have to just be a naughty boy. Like,
I like my food. I like good food. So
yes, but you have to pace yourself.
I know. Well, I did, but
You have calm down.
Yes.
I tell you all the time, eat at home, and then suddenly.
And I do now. I eat a lot at home now. Every time I go now, I make a lot of dinner at home. Sometimes I can't stay. If you're going for a week, I'm not going to stay at every single night at home. I just get bored. So I got to go do something. But most of the time now, I literally go sit at a bar, and then I just snack at the bar, or I have some drinks there, and then watch a little sports or something, and then go home. And I don't go too far from the house now.
Well, yeah.
I stay pretty close to where we live, and when I'm doing that, but it's fine. I think I'm interested to know what couples out there. If please like, subscribe, comment. I'm really interested to know if you are a couple and you have this issue where you work together too, and you see each other all the time. What is that dynamic like for you? How do you break apart that and get some time apart so that you can miss the other person? Again, I've said before in other episodes, we don't really do a thing where you say, I'm going out with the girls tonight, or I'm going out with my buddies tonight. We don't, that's not a thing we do. We just,
You're my buddy.
Yeah, we just go out together and go watch, a lot of times that we go to the daytime, we'll go to sports bars, watch games, or we found some recently a great sports bar that lets puppies come to here. So we take the puppies with us and we do that kind of thing. That's really, it's a family thing and that's our family. Thing that we do is take the puppies and go to sports
we really
bars.
don't get tired of each other. I never get tired of. Oh well, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I see you and I'm like, I could really kill you right now. But then I remember I love you, so.
Yeah, that's because I did something in your dream wrong. I did something in your dream wrong.
Yes, sometimes you're just cheating on me in my dream, or you're probably. I don't know. Sometimes you do stupid things in my dreams, and I don't like that.
I'll work on that. I'll see what I can do to do smarter things in your dreams.
Yes, so
I'll do my best.
Yes, please be better in my dreams. But I really don't feel tired of you. I never think, well, except when you're over my shoulder telling me what to do and that I have to finish a deadline of something, and I tell you to go away, but you go away to the couch. So that's fine.
Yeah. And then I ask you, show me what you're doing over there.
I know. I'm like, what? He's like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right. Again, because I'm not being overbearing, but again, you have ADD and I have to keep you relatively on task or we don't get things accomplished. And again, it's not one of those things where if I could do it myself, I would not bother you to do it. In other words, it wouldn't be like, hey, this needs to be done. And I full well know how to do it. I just think you should do this too. I don't do that. Like a part of our jobs is you do all the creative stuff, and the design of everything and the marketing and all that kind of stuff. And I do all the boring stuff. So I'm the one sitting there filling out 20 different packets of paperwork that's 25 pages
You're
long.
still asking me questions.
Well, there's things I have to know that I don't know in there. That's why I have to get the information from you. But I'm the one that has to do all this tedious, boring work that I have to do. And I would never expect you to have to do that as well. If it's stuff that's my job and that's part of what I bring to the table, I need to do that. And so I do that. But I also have to kind of check and make sure, okay, while I'm doing this, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Because we have to show that to somebody today for a Zoom meeting we have. And they asked for this and you haven't even sent it to them yet. And we're 2 hours away from the Zoom meeting.
Fine, give me another hour.
So yeah, but then you get caught up on doing something else.
I
and
know,
I was
I
like,
do.
so I have to keep making sure that you're at least staying somewhat on track so that we can flow the way we're supposed to flow.
Yeah, but
Yes.
fine, I'll allow it.
Right.
And also, it's sometimes even when you get bored about like being at home, because we're at home all the time, you go behind me and I can tell you're like bored and you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, working. Oh, okay. Like, what do you want? I don't know. I'm bored. I'm like, okay, you want to go somewhere? Yeah, let's go somewhere. And we go out and have lunch, but you're so cute when you do that. Like, you just start like lurking around.
Lurking?
Yeah, you're lurking.
I'm
like-
lunch lurking.
Yeah, you're
is what
lunch
it is.
lurking. You're like,
Yeah, let's go eat some lunch.
yeah,
Or-
well, what
But
do you have
that's
to-
the good thing is that one of the things that works to our advantage because we can just shift dynamic and then we can go sit and lunch, have a glass of wine, have some light lunch, and still continue the conversation about work. We can still talk about,
Right.
yeah, we have to do this, we have to do this. This needs to be done. We can plan if we're doing a podcast. We can plan what are we doing again? What are we supposed to be hitting on? What are we supposed to be talking about? We can do that while we're eating lunch and accomplish the same thing. We're just not sitting in a space. And that used to be in my most of my career thing that I absolutely hated. And a lot of people do that. That's a normal American life where you go and you work from 8:30 to 5:30 or whatever, and you're in your office or you're in your cubicle, and that's where you go every day. And to me, that was like absolute hell. I just couldn't imagine. And I hated it. That's why I would never stay in my office. If you would go through like
Well,
looking
he also
for,
had no windows. He was like,
no, in that office that you met me in, I did not have windows. It was miserable. But that's why you would find me a lot of times. I wouldn't even be in my office. I'd just be walking around because
lurking.
I had to be talking to people and getting out of my office. I hated sitting in an office in a box. Sit in your little box from this time to this time, and that to me was just absolute hell. I did not want to live my life like that, and it was miserable to do that. So I just made a commitment to myself that once we did our own thing, that's why we won't have offices like ever. We're not going to have offices ever because it's like, I'm not going to do that. Nor do I want to put other people through that. I'm not going to make you come sit in an office all day. You can work anywhere you have access to Wi-Fi, your computer, your phones. As long as I can reach you, I don't need you sitting in an office where, again, I don't work in a bank in the 1960s. Times have changed. The dynamic of the workplace has changed. You don't need to work that way. The money you would waste on the offices and stuff, you could plow that money into marketing, social media, hiring another person. Everybody work out of your house, enjoy your life.
Yeah, but corporates don't like that. Corporate people like
Because they want to control
yeah,
you.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, to me, it's not about the control. It's about the results. Do you get the job done? Do you get the results done? I don't care what you're doing at every moment of the day. I don't care if you're sitting there going, oh, wow, I'm waiting on something like that. I'm watching a Netflix thing in the background about,
Serial
killers or whatever, which Tiffany does nonstop, and she works for us. She's constantly listening to Netflix serial killer things, and she still gets her work done. I don't have to go, oh, how come you didn't get this done? Oh, because I was sitting on the couch watching TV. No, she can work. She can multitask and listen to that at the same time and still get her job done. She's not having to go to an office every day and do that. And I think that's a mentality that's way old thinking. It's not futuristic, and
But
technology
it can also
allows
get
you to do other things.
Can get a little bit overbearing when you work at home or from home because you don't know when to put a stop in it. I remember like sometimes it's late and you have to tell me stop working. Or if we're in Spain and with the time difference,
Yes.
I have to work late. It's like 10 p.m. and I'm working.
Yeah, because there's a 7-hour time difference,
Yeah.
and and what do we say when our biggest cut, like Sally? If Sally says, "Hey, I want to have a conference call at their time at the end of the day," we're on the phone at 1 o'clock in the morning for us having a
Right.
conference call because
That is true.
and also we deal internationally, so you could be on the phone with Asia,
Yeah.
and all night long I'll hear beep beep. What is that? Oh, it's somebody in Asia. It's somebody in Singapore. It's somebody. People. We're all over the world, so you're working across multiple time zones.
Yeah.
That people also have to take into consideration when you're planning your day. But I have to sometimes tell you, okay, enough. You don't have it. It's not a deadline. Just stop, unwind, relax.
Yes,
You can pick it
but
up in
a
the
lot of
morning.
people, it can get overbearing. I know. Remember when we lived in New York, we had this neighbor that from our bedroom we can see her living room.
Hmm.
This poor girl. Oh my God! It was like
She's like a graphic designer, website designer, or something. We only know that because
she had multiple screens.
we only know that because I'm being a Mr. Nosy and I'm looking at what is she working on over there?
I know, nosy Nancy. She's like, what's she doing?
What's my neighbor working on over there?
Yeah, and she had like two different
Big
screens,
giant screens, yeah.
screens, which usually is like if you do design or something.
Right.
And she was there from 8 in the morning. I remember we'll wake up, she's already working. And it was 10 p.m. and she was still working.
Yeah.
I'm like, this poor woman, I would be like trying to knock on the window, like, hey, stop.
Come over for a glass of wine. Calm down.
Like she was on her sweatpants all day, just working and working. And I understand that sometimes working from home, you don't know when to put a stop.
Yeah. Well, usually, because again, it's about the task or what your responsibility is and not about the hours. And that's the thing.
True.
And I would get into, at my former job, I used to get into arguments with the bookkeeper, controller type person who was an older school lady, like old school lady. And, she'd only worked in the old school offices type environment. And she would always come by and ask, well, where's so-and-so? Because it's 5 o'clock and they've already left and our offices are open until 5:30. And I'd be like, well, they did all their work and their son has a baseball game today that he's playing. So him and his wife are going to watch their son's baseball game that they're playing. And all his stuff is already done. Yeah, but our corporate policy says, look, and I stop it right there. So I don't work in a bank in the 1960s. I don't work that way. My people work for me. They get the job done and then they go live their life because it all isn't all about the company. Let people live their lives. And, have a good life with your family. That makes a person, a better employee, and a more loyal person to you because of the way they get treated.
Right.
And I said, you know how many times I call this guy on the weekends when he's not supposed to be working and say, I have an emergency. Can you handle this for me? He never says, well, no, it's the weekend. I don't work on the weekends because our corporate policy, he doesn't talk that bullshit. He just gets it done. He never, ever questions me. And I don't pull that trigger all the time, but if it's an emergency, I would call him and he would always be there for me. So if he walks down the hallway and says, hey, everything is done and I'll be back early in the morning to get things done. If you need anything, call me. I'll have my cell phone on. But my son's playing his first baseball game. That to me is more important than appeasing the controller bookkeeper lady down the hallway that we're not following this corporate policy, which is antiquated bullshit. So I don't live life that way. I wasn't going to let them dictate to me how to work. So anyway, if you have questions, comments, we'd like to know, please like, subscribe, follow us, and join in on the discussion. Let us know what you think and anything we talked about today. And again, remember, new episodes drop every Tuesday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time.